Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. In the last episode, we returned to Skyhold after completing Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts. Selene still has her throne. She has reconciled with Briala, unfortunately, but you know, what can you do? Aenor had no idea just how bad their relationship actually was. And yes, we also had the revelation that Cassandra and Liliana are both in the running to become divine. That is very interesting. Now, first things first, I quickly want to head over to the war table, because all of the missions we had them on should have come in by this point.
Now this is a hall worthy of the Inquisition.
I didn't even notice yet all of the construction. All of the construction is gone. Hey, this is looking very cool. Excellent, lovely. Very nice, much approval. Good work, people. Oh, anything going on?
He must stop pestering the quartermaster. Tell Sir Blackwall I'd be happy to send his requisition to Orlais, as a personal favor. Of course.
Okay, nice. Nice going, Josie. Taking care of Blackwall. I will admit, that's another relationship that can blossom. Dorian and Iron Bull can hook up, and Blackwall and Josie, it's not so much that they hook up, but they have this kind of budding romance that eventually, like, it kind of fizzles out. It doesn't really go anywhere. They were kind of like...
I have requests for information on your lineage from a few interested parties at the Winter Palace.
Andraste preserve me. Feel free to use those requests as kindling.
No, I shall take them. I want to know who pines for our commander. We can use this to our advantage.
I am not bait.
Hush. Just look pretty.
God damn, poor Colin. Poor Colin, he was traumatized at the Winter Palace, and they're just like, hey, we can use him as bait. But yeah, the Josie and Blackwall romance, it doesn't really go anywhere. I don't think they even kiss. It's just like, you know, basically a lot of, you know, smoldering looks and all of that, and they kind of realize it could never go anywhere. We're much too different. Ba ba ba, and it ends. But it's very cute. Okay, where do we want to put this point? That's the question. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna need that, to be perfectly honest. True Grit would be good. I don't really need any of this. It's just True Grit, but we need to capture a keep. Again, forward scouts also would be good, but we need a keep. Yeah, no. Okay. Inquisition. That's the potion slot. That could be good. And I'll probably get that at some point. Connections. To be honest, Josie's perk tree is one of those things where it's like, at the end of the game, when I have literally nothing else to put points in, I'll start putting points into this, because it's not of any interest to me or Aenor. So you know what, let's go ahead and grab that. There we go. What was everyone doing? Destroying the House of Repose's contract. Inquisitor, it has been done. The House of Repose hid themselves well, but a small group of our agents destroyed the contract on Josephine's life, and also found some interesting information on future targets. Josephine will not be happy we took this route, but I would rather suffer her displeasure than her passing. Liliana, exactly. Exactly. If it was this, or we go the long route and potentially she dies, then this was the only way forwards, in Aenor's mind. Manage stolen Freeman property. A message from Fairbanks. Everything we've found has been turned over to the Inquisition for your use as you see fit. Thank you again, Inquisitor. And over here, ooh, okay. Sutherland and Company missing. The last trail of Sutherland and Company found and mapped. On your action, Inquisitor. If they need assistance, you're in the best position to render it. Okay. Good stuff. Now, I'ma just figure out where I'm gonna send everyone off to. See you in a minute. Okie doke, and I am back, and we are staying within Ferelden borders this time. First things first, reparations for Redcliffe. A letter has arrived, stamped with the seal of Redcliffe. As the Inquisition has assumed responsibility for the Mage Rebellion, the Arling of Redcliffe holds you accountable for the losses suffered by our people while providing hospitality to your mage allies. A freehold in Rainosphere was burned to the ground when a mage inside lost control of his abilities. 2 farms outside Redcliffe Village suffered crop loss and structural damage due to frost spells. 5 people in Redcliffe Village were injured by lightning spells cast by panicked children. I trust this matter can be concluded without the involvement of the Crown. Tegan Guerin. Liliana has nothing to suggest. Josephine says I can arrange to pay reparations. It will require a loan, but we can manage it. And Cullen says we could send people to make repairs. That might satisfy the Jarl. Yeah. I think Aenor completely understands why Tegan would be pissed. They kicked him out of his castle. You know, they were dicking about Redcliffe, damaging the place. And then we came in and we kind of adopted this group and effectively prevented them from receiving any kind of punishment. You know, they were under the protection of the Inquisition. The people who did this, admittedly, some of these, like the spells cast by panicked children, that's not the kids' fault. Like, they're kids. But, you know, those people will never be punished for their negligence, their stupidity, their maliciousness. Like, they will never see the consequences of their actions. So I can understand, and I think Aenor could understand why Tegan would be pissed. We're not just going to pay him off. We are going to, as a show of goodwill, we are going to send our own people to help rebuild.
Inquisitor.
Yep. Next up, Hardin Hightown. Trouble in Skyhold. I do believe. Yep, that was one I wanted. Okay. Copies of Hardin Hightown and let's try that again. Copies of Hardin Hightown and Hardin Hightown 3, The Repuncheoning, sit side by side on the table along with a note. Nightingale. Found several similarities to events in Varric's book, but all are slightly off. Dead magistrate was not in his home. Man found murdered in locked room was a comte, not magistrate. Executors did not send warning note directly to Donnan. Obviously, object of plot is Sword of Hessarian, not a Penny Dreadful author. Close look at the rip-off book shows numerous grammatical and spelling errors that seemed random at first, but ciphers believe might contain coded information. Killer and author are clearly linked. Either the murder investigation or the code might lead us to a target. Scrivener. Josephine was not participating. Cullen's suggestion was we should follow up on the murder investigation. The book is just a work of fiction. And Liliana says someone got in and out of Skyhold without being seen. The cipher in the book might lead us to them. Yes, if you can't remember in the past Hardin Hightown quest, someone delivered a note to Skyhold basically saying, I think it was like, oh, the executors are watching you. Beware, you meddle with things beyond your knowledge. Fuck the lot of yous. It was a threatening letter. No one saw who delivered it. No one saw how it got in. It just kind of appeared on someone's desk. Cullen's suggestion is good of following up on the murder investigation. However, it's a Kirkwall murder investigation. I think Aenor would be like, doesn't it sound a bit dodgy for the Inquisition to just you know, rock up in Kirkwall and be like, oi, tell me about this investigation, we're taking over. Like, that seems a little bit tyrannical. I think, you know, trying to figure out the cipher and all of that, seeing if we can figure out how someone managed to get into Skyhold unseen, that, you know, that seems better.
Let's see what we have.
Okay, and investigate Duke Antoine of Wycombe. So this is the quest line involving Clan Llewellyn. If I remember correctly, they were being harassed by bandits, and we basically saved them, but then we were kind of like, hold up, these bandits, they're way too numerous, they're mercenaries, and I believe it was revealed that they were being employed by Duke Antoine of Wycombe. Nightingale. I have new information regarding Duke Antoine of Wycombe's move against the Inquisitor's Dalish clan. It appears that Wycombe has been experiencing some sort of plague that affects only humans. The Duke has kept news of the disease quiet, as his fellow nobles grow louder in their anger, blaming the elves and the alienage for what has been called the knife-eared plague. Antoine evidently chose to use Clan Llewellyn as a scapegoat. His surreptitious move against the Dalish was an attempt to convince his nobles that he was taking action. Suspicions in the city remain high. I can gather information, but any action on my part will be high risk. Jester, I apologise for all of the tongue fumbles I'm having. It's really warm. I've gotten a drink, you know, in between episodes, but it is incredibly warm for me right now. This would be heartbreaking to Aenor, bearing in mind Wycombe is where her mother's family are from. So the fact that people are getting... Not only was there an attack on Clan Llewellyn, you know, the people who spent most of her life raising her, but also the people of Wycombe are getting pissed at the elves and the alienage. Her grandparents live there. Well, her maternal grandparents live there. You know, potentially she has aunts, uncles, cousins. She probably has friends in the Wycombe alienage. You know, just hearing that they're angry at them, that hurts. Her family is being attacked on all sides. Cullen is not participating. Liliana says, it is risky, but I could attempt to send assassins to end Wycombe and his threats to the Dalish. Flippin' heck. Josephine says, Wycombe believes himself an ally of the Inquisition. My ambassadors can go where Liliana's agents cannot. Yeah, let's not just assassinate the guy. That would... If he randomly got assassinated and everyone's pissed at the elves, that would not be a good look.
Inquisitor.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, that is everyone done and dusted. Also, let me go back to my timer and resume. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now then, let's head around, see what everyone has to say. Josephine.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
I don't blame them. At least they weren't bored. They should be shaken. Ooh. To be honest, I'm drawn to this. Aenor did not like her time at Halam Shiral. She did not enjoy playing the game. She did not enjoy feeling like a fish out of water to that extent. And I don't think she likes the game.
The nobility needed a shock. Corypheus played them all for fools.
I agree completely. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
Celine knew. That surprised me. They are a selfish lot. Ooh. This seems like it's going a little bit too far. Who is Aenor to say all of those people are incredibly selfish? She didn't meet every single noble at that party. She can't say, oh, all of them are selfish. And I think that's going a bit too far. Aenor, I think she's started to have outbursts. You know, the cracks are showing. She is trying to keep up this veneer, and it is slowly slipping. However, I don't think, like, I'm not going to play her as like, oh, she's now going to be really angry. Like, no, the occasional outburst, yes, but not consistent anger. That's not Aenor. Celine probably did know. Let's be honest, if she knew about Gaspard's attack, maybe she did know, maybe she didn't, but she was playing the game. Yeah, I'm drawn to this.
The Empress realized she was in danger.
She's always in danger. Those loyal to her should have practiced more vigilance. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
I felt out of place. It was very exciting. The ball was petty and dull. This exactly. She did not enjoy her time there.
I kept dreading I'd drop the wrong spoon or step on a general's foot.
Well done. Feuds that spanned ages have sparked over less.
Really?
Inquisitor never underestimates the enmity of those for whom outrage is a sport.
You know what? I realised I never went over what my other Inquisitors do. Aenor is the only one who reconciles Celine and Briala. Because, how do I put this? Aenor was the only one who was like, oh, like, I want Briala to win for the sake of the elves and, you know, all of that. I want her to succeed in her mission. And I don't necessarily want to be sneaky about this. Oh, maybe they had this past relationship. Maybe I can try and rekindle that. That was the... Excuse me. Aenor is the only one of my Inquisitors to kind of come to that conclusion. My Kadash, Shale, she chooses to let Celine die. And then she has Briala take over with Gaspard as her mask. Because Briala offered her a network of elven spies. That is incredibly useful. And Gaspard is a warmonger. And Shale was attracted to that. Not in a romantic or sexual way, but from a business perspective. If Orlais goes to war with everyone, lyrium sales are going to go through the roof. And she was like, oh, the Kadash family can make a killing on that. Nice. My Adar, she actually chooses one of the worst options, and that's she blackmails all of them into working together. She goes for the public truce ending because she wasn't very good at the game, and she was just kind of like, all of these people are awful, and in kind of a master stroke, her naivety meant that she got one up on all of them. It was a really weird situation, but I kind of liked it. This bumbling young woman who had no idea, she literally does the worst out of any of my Inquisitors at the ball. She is so bad at it, yet she somehow found all of this blackmail material, and she was just like, right, I'm not dealing with any of yous, all of you can work together. It is one of the worst options, but what can you do? And my Trevelyan Lyra, she has Celine rule alone. She's kind of the opinion, like, Celine is the rightful ruler. Who am I to, you know, argue with that? And she just didn't care enough about Briala to try and get them to reconcile. She was kind of like, that's not really my business. Yeah, I feel badly for the elves of Orlais. You know, I am half elven. I feel badly for them. And I'm interested in my history, but she wouldn't really describe herself as, you know, being all that in touch with her elven side. It's intriguing to her, but she is also like, I'm human. At the end of the day, I am human. I have elven heritage that I'd like to learn more about, but I am human. And so she chose to prioritize making sure Celine survived at all costs. So yeah, that's what my other Inquisitors do.
I must return to Valrayo to see that everything is in order. Please join me when you can.
Okay. Anything else?
I was hoping you'd be by. We've received letters from Archon Redanus of Tevinter and King Marcus of Nevada. For both monarchs to come to us is nearly unheard of.
Oh, then we've impressed them. I'm not sure I'm honoured. Of course, we're famous. Yeah, it's nice to know that we're impressing, monarchs of other countries.
Then the Inquisition's deeds have won their respect.
They'd never have contacted us otherwise. Archon Redanus requests that the Inquisition, as a neutral party, destroy a venatory cult on the Nevaran-Tevinter border. King Marcus asks the same, but demands we pledge allegiance to Nevarra instead of Tevinter.
I like how Aenor said that line. Then the Inquisition's deeds have won their respect. Again, the cracks are showing, but then she has these moments of oh, we're doing good. We're doing good for people. We're winning the respect of these monarchs. Isn't my suffering worthwhile? Isn't all of the stress I am going through, all of these sleepless nights, all of the times I'm dying on the inside, doesn't this mean it's all worth it? The fact that I am giving so many parts of myself and spreading myself so thin, it's all for the greater good, and it's all paying off. And that can't go badly. Of course it can't go badly, it won't! What would you do? What's King Marcus like? Why does Redonus need us? Let's ask about these monarchs first.
What sort of man is the King of Nevarra?
At this point, elderly. Many fear his health will soon fail him. Still, he is a Pentagast. Their dynasty is exceptionally strong in Nevarra.
So does that mean Cassandra supports him?
As a Pentagast, will Cassandra be upset if we don't help her relatives?
With all respect to Sikar Pentagast, her interest in politics is best described as thin.
Yeah, very true. And why does Redonus need us?
Why is the ruler of Tevinter turning on the Venatori?
He has little reason to love them. Archon Redanus has rightly identified Corypheus as competition. Few monarchs relish a self-styled god showing up to claim their throne.
Fair. I'd be pretty pissed about that. But what is the Archon like, exactly?
Tell me about Redanus.
Like most Tevinter rulers, he's heir to an ancient bloodline, politically shrewd, and a highly skilled mage. Rumor also claims he has an incredibly soft spot for cats.
Aww. I miss having a cat. Yeah, what would you do if you were in Aenor's position?
What course of action would you take if you were in my place?
Strained as their relationship with Orlais is, I would assist the Imperium. Their friendship is difficult to win, and Marcus is a fading power. Tevinter is the longer, richer gain.
We'll help Nevarra, we'll aid Tevinter. Again, Aenor has absolutely no idea what she's doing here. She would trust Josephine implicitly, and if she says that aiding Tevinter is the better option, then we'll aid Tevinter.
Tell the Archon the Inquisition will do Tevinter the favor of wiping out the Venatori on its borders.
Very good, Inquisitor. We'll inform him at once.
Also, we did send a whole clan of Avar into Tevinter. This is a good way of apologizing for that.
A pleasure.
Okay, yeah. How are you always so polite? How do you do it?
How do you stay so civil with everyone, Josephine?
Bonds of circumstance among the nobility are fickle. Civility is the only constant everyone admires. And I do deplore rudeness in those who know better.
Yeah, but don't you get tired of it?
Does it even become a strain sometimes?
Well, it can be trying. There is no shortage of self-regard among the nobility. The game can be wearying, discouraging, and extremely baneful. But honestly, I'd miss meeting people. I've made the most fascinating friends.
I've liked meeting all of you. I'm glad you have. The game isn't worth it. Yeah, I think Aenor is glad that she's met all of these people, at the Inquisition, all of her friends.
One good thing about becoming Inquisitor has been meeting so many different people.
I'm pleased. I imagine we appear a strange bunch to those outside our circle. Mages, Templars, Seekers, and an apostate elf are not often found working in harmony. Or at all.
Yeah, it has opened up her world. She's met all of these different kinds of people that she would have never met if she was still, you know, traveling with Clan Llewellyn.
What do the people make of us?
There's scarcely a noble house that hasn't openly pledged its support to us.
Nice. And any guess?
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Marquise Hedinel is here, but Her Grace sent her apologies for missing dinner. Allergies, I'm afraid.
Allergies to what?
Wheat, eggs, honey, meat, most fish, some poultry, and even peppers, to winter fruits, and every nut under the sun.
What does the Marquise subsist on?
Spite, according to her siblings, as the Marquise had the fortune to be firstborn of her family. Try to avoid invitations to any of their luncheons.
I love that. What does she subsist on? Spite. Best answer. Best answer. Facts. Okay, we do have a judgment to sit in on. However, we'll leave that for a different time. Varric, buddy.
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry, distracted. Anyway, you need something?
Love it. I love it. Yeah, we've asked all of these. Do we have anything new here?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Okay, nope.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem.
Just to double check.
If you've got questions, I'm your dwarf.
Okay, good stuff.
Carry on.
I think we actually cut someone off here. Whoops, my apologies. Didn't mean to do that, people, but oh well. And it's Morrigan. Hello there.
You're the Inquisitor. Mother never told me the Inquisitor was an elf.
Hello there. Hello there. Oh. Oh, is that a bad thing? I am indeed an elf. Who is your mother? Oh, I wonder who. I wonder who. That is kind of an odd thing for the child to say, but he is a child at the end of the day. I think Aenor would take a gentle approach with him.
That's not such a terrible thing, is it?
No, I just don't know why your people want to look like that.
Kieran, are you bothering the Inquisitor?
Of course not. Did you see what's on her hand, Mother?
I did see. 'Tis time to return to your studies, little man. My son. Never where you expect him to be, naturally.
Oh, and the thing I love about that, Kieran's voice actor is Odin Black. That is Claudia Black's real-life son. Oh, it's adorable. He's your boy?
I didn't know you had a son.
Why would you? I take great pains to not let my own reputation affect him in any way. To most in the Imperial Court, he's simply a quiet and well-spoken lad. Perhaps the heir of some distant family. But he goes where I go. Worry not, Inquisitor. Kieran is a curious boy, but seldom troublesome.
And where exactly is his father?
Will his father be joining us as well?
I have raised Kieran on my own for quite some time now, as was my preference from the start. So 'tis but the two of us, Inquisitor. Your fortress is a large place, and you will scarce notice our presence.
You must be proud. He's a bit odd. I wanted to talk to you. And he did seem a little bit odd. You know, what a thing, like, oh, being an elf isn't so bad. No, I just don't know why your people would want to look like that. I do think Aenor would be thinking, what? Pardon? But she wouldn't just come out and say that.
He seems like a fine young man.
but not the sort one might expect a woman like me to raise. No son of mine would be raised in a marsh, bereft of contact with the outside world. His future will be difficult enough without my adding to his burden. To think, until recently this place stood decrepit, occupied only by the desperate and the lost. Now it is party to events that threaten to shake the world. I wonder if it is pleased.
You know about Skyhold?
It sounds like you've heard of Skyhold before.
This fortress was built upon the remains of a site holy to the ancient elves. They called it Tarar Salan, the place where the sky is kept. It is said that from here, they reached up to the heavens to bring them down to rest. They abandoned it, as did the humans who came after them. Bones laid upon bones, silent until your arrival.
That is a very interesting description. When you know the whole story, if you have already played the game before, then that description is incredibly interesting. I'm rather fond of it. We were lucky to find it. It's defensible, at least. And I do think Aenor would be rather fond of Skyhold.
I like this place. I've made it mine.
The magic in this place has seeped into the stones, protecting it from darkness. Those who let it fall to ruin did not know what they possessed. You, I think, shall do it justice. You were kind to welcome my aid, Inquisitor, even knowing as little of me as you do. I will do my best to aid your cause with all the knowledge at my disposal. This I swear to you.
Thank you. That's very serious. You'll be useful. No, thank you.
I appreciate whatever help you can give us.
Some might think Corypheus a madman for seeking godhood. Yet one must ask, what were the old gods? What secrets of theirs did the ancient magisters know? What I fear, what all should fear, is not that Corypheus believes he can succeed. 'Tis that he actually may.
Where has he wandered off to? Kieran? Kieran, buddy? Are you... He's gone off somewhere. It doesn't matter. What Kieran says to the Inquisitor there, it's very interesting. It's very interesting, and it changes depending on your race. Also, which option you pick. So when he says, I don't know... Oh, he's gone over there. Okay, you're right. When he says, I don't know why your people would want to look like that, I presume he's talking about the Valasleen. And if you go with the middle option, which is, was it my ears that gave me away? His response is, no, it was your blood. It's very old. Again, really weird. And who's your mother? He says, mother is the, I can't remember the line. But basically, mother is the one who will issue in the next age. Something like that. Issue in? Usher in, there we go. I get there in the end. Yeah, she's the one that will usher in the next stage. And if you're playing a dwarf, and you go for the middle one, like, oh, was it my height that gave me away? Then he says, you'll never be taller, not without the Titans. And if you are a Kunari, and like, oh, was it my horns that gave me away? Then he says, no, it was your blood. It doesn't belong to you. Something along those lines. Now, we are getting all of these interesting options because Kieran is in possession of something. He's in possession of the old god soul. If Kieran is a regular child, then his reactions are far more normal and they are very funny. Like when speaking to a dwarven Inquisitor and talking about... height, like, oh, is it because I'm so short? And Kieran's like, I know what you mean. And he's so sad about it. It's very cute. Oh, I'm so glad the old god baby made a comeback. I'm so glad he finally appeared in the series. I love Kieran. I love him so much.
My Lady Inquisitor.
Yes, tell me more about you. What are you working on? Thoughts on the Inquisition? Yeah, tell me about yourself, Morrigan.
I'd like to know more about you.
Ah, yes. Whence comes the mystery woman slinking her way into the Inquisition's ranks? Once I was an apostate, living well away from the banal influence of the Chantry in the Kukari wilds. Then came the Fifth Blight with its darkspawn, and I left Ferelden for the Empress's court. 'Tis certain the nobles of Orlais breathe a collective sigh of relief that I am now here.
Yeah, you were in the Fifth Blight. Aenor has an interest in the Fifth Blight. This would be the first thing that catches her attention.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight.
The Blight began in the Kukari wilds, so yes, I experienced it firsthand. Indeed, I fought at the hero of Ferelden's side for a time. She is the reason the Blight was defeated. I wish things had gone differently in the end. It had to be, yet. And after that, I came to Orlais. The last place one would look for me, or such was my hope.
The Orlesian court seems like an odd place to find someone like you.
That was the point, originally. I knew the Empress was intrigued by the arcane, and that I could answer questions no Chantry mage could. Thus, we fit together nicely. I became her advisor, and she my benefactor and source of refuge. Truth be told, our arrangement would not have lasted much longer. Too many wagging tongues, even for Celine.
It's odd that an apostate could live so openly.
It confuses those who expect apostates to cower and hide. I stand boldly before them and demand to know why I need some Chantry mage to teach me to control my power. They would put me on a leash so they can feel safer at night. I am uninterested in their comfort. Naturally, it helps to have friends in high places.
That it does. And tell me about Kieran.
Tell me more about your son.
He is a very special young man.
Special in what way?
In every way. At first, Kieran was a means to an end. But as he grew, I never thought of myself as a mother inquisitor. I had no good example to follow. I find myself becoming something I can barely recognize.
I love this. I love seeing how much Morrigan has changed, and I love seeing her talk about and interact with Kieran. I absolutely love it.
I'll leave you to the garden.
As you like.
No, I actually have more questions for you. Also, what is this? Who has left this here? Okay, that was weird. Alrighty then. Yeah, I am just about out of time for this episode. So in the next one, we are going to continue speaking to Morrigan, seeing what's going on with her. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below. And if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.